25th August 2022. Morning Murli, Shanti, BapDada, Madhuban. Sweet children, the religion and actions of you Brahmins of the confluence age are to drink the nectar of knowledge and also to give it to others to drink. You do the service of changing residents of hell into residents of heaven. Question: of which deep philosophy of karma have you Brahmins been given knowledge? Answer: if while belonging to the Father you ever perform a sinful act with your sense organs, there will be 100-fold punishment for each sin committed. You Brahmins have this knowledge, and this is why you cannot perform any sinful acts. The aim of you Brahmins is to become full of all virtues. Therefore, you have to make effort to remove your defects. Song: no one is unique like the innocent Lord. Shanti. A name of the unlimited Father is the innocent Lord. He is definitely the same one who makes human beings into deities. All human beings are part of the devilish community. They cannot change human beings into deities. It is of that one that it sung. It didn't take him long to change humans into deities. Deities reside in the land of immortality, whereas this is the land of death. The Father would surely come into the land of death to tell you the story of immortality and make you immortal. Now, it didn't take him long to change human beings into deities. Who would thus be said of? He definitely adopts Shudras, and so it would be said that he brings the human beings who belong to the Shudra clan into the Brahmin clan. All of you many children say, we are Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris, the children of Brahma. Prajapita means father of humanity, exist, and so he would definitely have adopted children. They are all mouth-born creations. Nevertheless, the mother and father are definitely needed. They would also be said to be the mother-born creation of Mama. You are the mouth-born creation of Baba and also the mouth-born creation of Dada. There is no mention of a creation born through a womb. Iron Age Brahmins are created through a womb, whereas you Brahmins are mouth-born. Those Brahmins tie one another with a bond in order to make them drink poison, whereas you Brahmins make them tie a bond with God to enable them to drink nectar. There is so much difference. They are those who make others into the residents of hell, whereas you are those who make others into residents of heaven. With the nectar of knowledge, you change from human beings into deities. We became children of God, and so we also receive help. There are real children and stepchildren. Stepchildren do not receive as much help as real children. Only real children receive the Father's love. If someone doesn't have a real child, he would love his brother's children, or he would adopt a child. You now know the caste. Although they show the variety form image, no one can show you their history and geography or what happens through that. The Father now explains to you the cycle continues to turn. You took this many births in the deity relation and this many births in the warrior relation. Here, there is no question of lines. You explain and prove the 84 births. Everyone definitely has to become Satopradhan and then go through the stages of Sato, Rajo, and Tamo. The deities who were Satopradhan have now become Tamopradhan. This human world tree has now reached a state of total decay. That is, it has become a graveyard. This is the time of settlement. The old karmic accounts of everyone have to be settled and a new birth taken. They keep account books of their wealth, whereas here you have accounts of actions. They are accounts of half a cycle. The accounts of all the sins that people have been committing have been continuing. It isn't that an account is settled by experiencing punishment just once. No. How did souls become sinful? The burden of karma increased day by day, and souls have become completely tamopradhan. Some then say, since sannyasis adopt renunciation, why should they be tamopradhan? However, the father says their renunciation is rajapradhan. You now receive Srimat. Those directions are of human beings. People say that they attain eternal liberation. But how? All actors definitely have to be present here. No one can return home. They have written many such things in the Gita. The first thing is that of omnipresence. You children now have remembrance of the Father in you. There is the Father, the Creator, and together with Him there is His creation. There isn't just the Father, but even His creation has to be remembered. You are doing your business, and together with that, you also know the incorporeal world, the subtle region, Shivbaba's biography, and you also know Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. Then you also know Jagadamba and Jagatpita of the confluence age. Jagadamba, Saraswati is remembered. There are many pictures of her. In fact, the main one is Jagadamba Saraswati. Thus, Brahma is corporeal and he then becomes angelic. After that, the angelic Brahma becomes the corporeal emperor, Sri Narayan, and the 84 births begin. You now continue to do your business, and so you mustn't perform such sinful acts with your physical sense organs that they become sins. Otherwise, you won't be able to become full of all virtues. It is remembered, and without virtues, I have no virtues. At this time, it is the land of falsehood. It is only the one Father who establishes the land of truth. At this time, all human beings have become orphans. Your children should not have any defects now. The first defect is body consciousness. It takes a lot of effort to become soul conscious. All other vices come due to body consciousness. Ego is the number one enemy. The Father tells you directly, beloved children, renounce the ego of your body. I don't have a body. I come and speak to you through these organs. You listen and understand through your organs. The unlimited Father is now giving you directions. Remember me, and your sins will be absolved. Don't perform any such sinful acts that you would defame the name and also destroy your status. The Father says, children, no one else can teach you Raj Yoga and make you into the masters of the world. The Father is now explaining the truth to you. You are sitting in the company of the truth in order to listen to the truth and to become the masters of the land of truth. His name is the truth. He is the ocean of true knowledge. The Father says, I am the ocean of knowledge. You rivers of knowledge emerge from the ocean of knowledge. Those rivers emerge from an ocean of water. How can they be called the purifier? The purifier can only be God, who is the ocean of knowledge. That Ganges does not go to the whole world. This is the task of the unlimited Father alone. You change from Shudras into Brahmins. You Brahmins are the top knot, but you would not be called Satapradhan at this time because all of you are effort makers. You do service, you are God's children, and it is because you are the ones who make Bharat into heaven that there is great respect for Brahmins. It isn't that Lakshmi and Narayan make Bharat into heaven. The Father makes it that through you Brahmins and not through the deities. The Father has to come into the old world to create a new world. The unlimited Father created the new home of heaven. Something new definitely has to become old. When a physical father builds a new home, it definitely becomes old. It isn't that father made it become old. From being Satapradhan, everything definitely becomes Tamapradhan. In the same way, the whole world will definitely become old from new. Now renounce all the religions of bodies and consider yourselves to be souls. The father is telling all of you children, your play is now coming to an end. You now have to return home. You haven't forgotten, have you, that I have come to teach you easy Raj Yoga. We also met one another 5000 years ago. I taught you Raj Yoga. Do you remember that? You haven't forgotten that, have you? I come and gave you that sovereignty every cycle. I change you from shells into diamonds. Some children say, Baba, can I not be liberated from this cycle? The father says, no, this world cycle is eternal. If you became free from the cycle, the world would end. The cycle definitely has to turn. I have come once again. I continue to come at the confluence age of every cycle. They have written that I come in every age. They say, oh, purifier, come and purify us. Take us to the land of happiness. In the impure world, there is nothing but sorrow. Acha, I have two lands. Where would you like to go? The father says there is a lot of happiness in the land of happiness. Even if you go to the land of liberation, you definitely do have to come here to play your part. However, you will then descend when heaven has ended. Will you not go to heaven? Do you not have any desire for heaven? Do you only want to go into Maya's kingdom, into hell? At that time too, everyone will first be Sato, then Rajo, and then Tamu. Pure souls who come down cannot experience sorrow at first. They would not commit sin as soon as they come, for souls have to go through the Sato, Rajo, and Tamu stages. The cycle too has to be understood. You cannot go into your final stage now. In a school too, the final examinations take place every 12 months. Your stage will become firm at the end. There will be a lot of growth. So many centers have opened. Many people ask for centers. However, not that many teachers are ready. The first class shift is that of Amrit Vela. If someone is unable to come in the morning, then in desperate circumstances he can come in the evening. At school too, there are two shifts. Okay, children, did you understand? The father is explaining to the children at all the centers. Children, write your chart every night. Was my register spoiled today? Did I make any mistake today? Then ask the father for forgiveness. Shivbaba, forgive me. You're so sweet. God says, I'm making you into master gods and goddesses of heaven. Therefore, obey my orders. The number one order is become soul conscious. Don't indulge in vice. It is a great enemy. If you don't conquer it, your status will be destroyed and you will become someone who defames the name of the clan. Maya is very powerful. There is the battle of the flame and the storm. You have to show bravery in this. We now belong to the Father, so how can Maya create obstacles? Yes, she will create storms, but you must never perform any sinful acts with your physical sense organs. You receive a very high status. Just think about it. If you tell others that you are studying to change from an ordinary man into Narayan, they would all laugh at you. Here, each of you has to make it firm that you are a soul, because only then will you become Satapradhan and go back to the Father and He will then send you to heaven. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, those who are number wise according to their efforts, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, pay attention so that your register does not become spoiled. Obey the Father's orders and become soul conscious. Don't make any mistakes with your physical sense organs. Second point, in order to become full of all virtues, don't perform any sinful acts with your physical sense organs, which would make you accumulate sin. You have to settle all your old karmic accounts. Blessing, may you have the fortune of happiness and constantly dance in happiness by being aware of your fortune. Explanation, you Brahmin children should constantly keep in front of you a list of all the fortune you have received from Amritvela until night time and continue to sing the song Va, the elevated fortune, that the bestower of fortune is mine. With this intoxication, constantly continue to dance in happiness no matter what happens. Even when coming to the point of your dying, do not let go of your happiness. Even when you have to leave your body, it doesn't matter, but your happiness must not disappear. Slogan, in order to be cheerful, sit on the seat of a detached observer and continue to observe the games. Om Shanti. Dadi Prakashmani Ji's 15th anniversary and Dadi Ji's invaluable elevated versions. Signs of coming close to completion and perfection. First point, the more perfect a soul continues to become, the fewer subtle vices will be in his thoughts, words, and actions. The destination of perfection will be seen to be close. Second point, such a soul will be viceless in his thoughts, words, and actions and will not cause anyone sorrow or take sorrow from anyone. When the give and take of sorrow has finished, perfection will then be close. Third point, those who are close to perfection will be unlimited renunciates. They will not have any attachment to anyone. Their attachment to all will be broken. Living in the midst of everyone, they will be loving and detached. Fourth point, they will not be attracted by anything old, including the elements. They will always stay in the attraction of the one Father. In their intellects, they will only have remembrance of the one Father. That is, they will be concentrated in their attitude. Fifth point, they will be content with themselves and with others. They will pay full attention to all four subjects of the study. Sixth point, they will have the stage of a detached observer and will constantly experience the company of the companion. They will not cause sorrow for anyone with their intellects of body consciousness or with their old ways of interaction. They will have spirituality and uniqueness in their vision and attitude. Seventh point, they will be full of purity and will not only be celibate but will also follow in the footsteps of Brahma. Their eyes will not be drawn to anyone because they have the intoxication of whose children they are. Eighth point, they will not keep anyone's defects in their hearts. They will not note down anyone's defect. Their intellect will not be drawn to old ways and old sanskars. They will always have pure and positive thoughts for others. Ninth point. Sakar Baba always considered himself to be a world servant, and he was as humble as he was great. He was incorporeal, egoless, and voiceless. In the same way, constantly consider yourselves to be a server. This is a sign of perfection. Tenth point. Such a soul will always consider himself to be an instrument. He will never accept any praise, even though he would definitely be praised because he would have done service. However, because of considering himself to be an instrument, Baba, Baba would emerge from his lips. He will neither become extra happy with praise, nor will he be disappointed by being different. He will have equanimity in both. 11th point. He will enable everyone's relationship to be forged with one. Words of love for Baba will emerge through his lips. Baba has given us his loveliest possession, a divine intellect, as a gift, and so we should look after this gift very well. 12th point. The third eyes of knowledge would always be open. Because of having their eyes of knowledge open, they would always have powerful thoughts. This is also a sign of perfection. 13th point. Their every action would be according to Srimad. They would never mix the dictates of their own minds with Srimad. To continue to perform every action on the basis of a divine intellect is also a sign of perfection. 14th point. They would be obedient and faithful. They would have one strength and one support. All relationships with one, not be subservient to anyone. They would be free from any attachment or subservience. 15th point. Any situation would be nothing new. They would experience something of 5,000 years ago as through it were a matter of yesterday. Om Shanti